Are you ready for some drama? Welcome to my list of the top 10 most painful technological failures of the last decade, ranging from insufficient to disastrous. Spoiler alert, this is the very first time one of these lists has failed by a score of 10 out of 10. Hello guys, how is your day going? Hope you're having a great time. Before we proceed with this video, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Kindly click on the notification bell to get updates on our exciting content. Let's take a look at some horrific technologies that failed, and you'll never ever forget. Let's dive in. The Crucible. Now, when I say smartphone, what comes to mind is some sort of rectangular glass sandwich, right? The Crucible, to be far more explicit, is what happens when you defy that convention. It's what happens when you defy all the rules. It was the world's first circular smartphone, using a wooden frame instead of glass. It was also completely user-upgradable for long-term use. Furthermore, it is unable to make telephone calls. The website refers to it as a very little tablet, which is okay. But what type of tablet product am I going to consume on a 2.5-inch circular display? Let's give it a 2 out of 10 rating. AI Day. Anyways, did you know that Microsoft established a Twitter account in 2016 that uses artificial intelligence to learn how to communicate like a human? Day was her name, and it was said that the more people talked to her, the smarter she became. When Day was established, she began tweeting some of the most heinous racial obscenities on the platform in less than 24 hours. She began by describing people as very cool and expressing her excitement to meet them. Then she tried to provoke a race war in less than 1 day. I'm not exaggerating at all. She was cursing a lot, she was quoting Hitler because she was absorbing everything she could from every exchange. The general public began abusing her, teaching her to say things that were entirely out of character. Day was intelligent enough to catch up on how humans spoke, but she wasn't intelligent enough to recognize when she was being led on. As a result, Day was cancelled just 24 hours after it went live. So this one is quite simple. 3 out of 10 people will fail. Elon Cybertruck. In late 2019, a giddy Elon Musk takes the stage to unveil the Cybertruck to the world. Imagine being in this audience and not knowing what's about to happen. There will be no leaks, no photographs, and then you'll have to wait as this monstrosity rolls onto the stage. The crowd erupted. I've never witnessed so many people in the audience trying to shoot a photo at the same time. The only little snag was that they spent a significant amount of the event on the road. They said the Cybertruck had an almost unbreakable exoskeleton while discussing its strength. They said the glass was almost bulletproof, until they put it to the test. They broke it, and then they did something that appears to be a common motif. They tried again, and this time they grabbed the same ball. This time they tossed it at the back window, which they also broke, and of course, this clip quickly became the most popular video about the Cybertruck. There are still many people who are enthusiastic about this vehicle, although it was awkward. Nexus Q. Let's do a rapid-fire round for Google, shall we? The Nexus Q came next. It was a media streamer or device that allowed you to display content from your phone on your television. Imagine Chromecast, but 10 times worse. At $300, it was prohibitively pricey. It could only play Google material such as Google Play Music, which is likewise no longer available. The New York Times reported it as widely overbuilt for its limited functions, which is not the kind of review that any company wants. But Google Glass was even more disappointing, because unlike Nexus Q, which appeared out of nowhere and then flopped, it was wildly overbuilt for its limited functions. People were enthralled by the glass. Google created trailers like this one to show us the world we were about to enter. They showed us 4 people wearing glasses, jumping out of a plane while simultaneously conversing on Google Hangouts. There is, however, such a thing as starting too early. Google was attempting to integrate the digital and physical worlds before technology was truly capable of doing so, and so on. Almost everything it could accomplish was marked with a large asterisk. Wii. Other items such as the Wii should be covered in this video. Are you familiar with the Wii? Despite the fact that it was about as strong as my refrigerator, that console was the beginning of the end for gaming. It was the very first time I've ever witnessed 3-year-old children playing games with their 7-year-old grandparents, and both groups seemed to enjoy themselves. Though it's a little strange that Nintendo could go from such highs to such lows years after the Wii. They thought it was time to create a next-generation console, one that could simply be played on your TV. It also has the option of playing the full games using just the new controller's built-in screen. As a result, other individuals could watch TV at the same time as you. It wasn't a bad concept in my opinion, it's just that it was done with all the delicacy of a Galaxy Note 7, just before it exploded. There were other drawbacks, but I believe the biggest culprit is the fact that it was branded the Wii. OUA. This small box went viral in 2012. You'd be quite happy if this girl told you she was working on a system called OUA that could play tens of thousands of games, including Minecraft, platformers, and shooters for $99. I mean, the concept of a console at that price point is unheard of. So it's hardly surprising that OUA became the second most funded project on Kickstarter, with nearly $9 million raised. However, once it had shipped, it became evident that its greatest perceived strength was also its greatest flaw, as it was built on Android. Yes, you were receiving tens of thousands of games, but the fact that these were mostly developed for phones at the time in 2012 was largely overlooked. Only a few of them provided adequate controller support. Most of them were manufactured on the cheap, with in-app purchases. And when games designed for a 4-inch phone screen in 2012 were blown up to a 40-inch TV, people quickly realized that labeling this a current-gen console was already a push for the smart home. Or, in this case, the not-so-smart home. Luckyview Juicer. Luckyview Juicer has developed a gadget that allows you to squeeze your own fresh fruit juices. If you spend $700 for the machine and then pay a monthly membership to obtain these sachets of sliced-up fruit to use with it. You want to hear the amusing part, despite the fact that you didn't need the machine? Bloomberg posted a 1-minute video showing how they could get the same juice faster by manually squeezing the sachets, and this 1-minute video effectively shut down the entire business. June Oven. Nevertheless, this is where things start to get dangerous. June is the name of a firm. They create smart ovens, and they've actually transformed an often gross appliance into a work of art. But users immediately discovered that their June ovens, at least the first generation, could turn themselves on and start heating up on their own. Imagine you're sitting in your bed at 2 a.m., and your oven in the kitchen below suddenly reaches 200 degrees Celsius with no one around to supervise it. That's a little frightening. If there was any food forgotten in there, even crumbs from previous meals, that might be enough to build a fire in the home. FireJune was able to repair it with a software update called Yikes. Amazon's ring-based security scheme. Good job, Amazon, on creating a security system that puts people in danger. What occurs is that these cameras allow users to see and hear everything that is going on in any room at any time, and isn't that fantastic? They could, however, be hacked, because such high-level access was simply protected by a simple username and password. Imagine relaxing in your living room with your family, when you hear a voice from your security camera telling you to pay a 50 Bitcoin ransom, or else you'll be terminated right now. And you realize that someone has been watching you the entire time. It sounds like something out of a horror film, and to make matters worse, the hackers would threaten and even blackmail the families they were investigating. The Amazon Ring smart doorbells, which were used in conjunction with the cameras, began spontaneously bursting into flames. So they're quite the pair. Obviously, this wasn't Amazon's fault, and they fixed it with the software update. But what exactly is a terrible oversight, okay? Segways. Do you recall how cool Segways and hoverboards were when they first became popular? How it seemed like we'd finally found out a way to walk. What happens to them? We discovered the hard way that Segways are really unsafe. You lose your focus for a fraction of a second and you're in a ditch on the road, or have already knocked someone over. Even US President Barack Obama was seen tumbling down one of these. A cameraman also managed to plow straight into Usain Bolt, the world's fastest sprinter, or at least, he was before that, which is sort of terrible. The Segway company founder died in 2010 after driving a Segway off a cliff. I intended to make an entrance on a Segway for this video, but I got distracted halfway through. They're dangerous. Therefore, it's not surprising that a number of governments got involved and that the battery ran out. And it didn't help matters that many of these ostensible hoverboards were, to be honest, just boards. When they caught fire, 500,000 of them had to be recalled, which, let's face it, is enough to sabotage any potentially lucrative product. As a result, this is absolutely a 7 out of 10 situation. There you have it, 10 horrific tech fails they want you to forget. What do you think? Which of these techs do you think is more horrific? Let us know in the comments. If this video was insightful, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell button to be notified whenever we upload videos like this one.